Coach Massialas just completed a successful clinic with young kids. Coach, being the national team coach, having your own club, and organizing this clinic with the youth, you have a huge range of coaching responsibilities. Please share how you balance that.
It's always a challenge, especially when we're on the road a lot. Here, just kind of like have a lot of things crammed in together. Today, between coaching on the strip, making sure that clinics are happening here. I mean, the national training camp's going on. Then we have this youth kids camp, and then later on this afternoon I have a coaches clinic I'm giving. So you just have to juggle a lot of things. It's not the same thing like, you look at Cherioni, who's the Russian national coach. All he's responsible for is the foil squad's performance at the World Championships and the senior squad. That's it. So here I am dealing with basically from beginning introductory level for the club all the way through different highest levels, and then internationally cadet, junior. Last year I had fencers on the cadet women's foil and men's foil, junior men's foil and women's foil, and senior men's foil and women's foil team. So you're traveling tremendously because of that. You have to understand a big thing. But I think it also helps give me a perspective about American fencing, which is unique in the sense that I know what needs to be successful for Americans to be successful, because different countries have different strengths and weaknesses. So I think it helps me in the overall perspective as a national coach, because I sort of understand the process, or what I think is a good, successful process for us to be successful. And then I think ultimately then I just have to learn to focus in, hone in on the times that I'm dealing with whatever. But it is quite interesting because a lot of times I'm coming back from a Grand Prix, we're fencing off, winning the gold medal of the Grand Prix. I come home and I'm like helping Y10 girls foil, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit different perspective, but it's also kind of keeps it exciting but I think most importantly, it's not so much, it's exciting and all that, but it's also understanding the entire food chain and having a really good depth of understanding that helps me to see where it is, where our fencers need to be at different phases of their career here, because it's different than in Russia or China or wherever it is.
And you talk about how beneficial it is to have that perspective and more of a complete understanding of the sport and the requirements at each age. What do you find to be the biggest requirements or changes that are required between going from the senior men's team to a Y10 age group?
Well, the key is, and this is where I think a lot of coaches make the mistake, that they try to put too much in on the Y10, Y12 age group in terms of the competitive results or whatever. Some parents get a little crazy about, going this, traveling, getting points, Y10. The truth of the matter is that that's the time that we need the developmental path, the technical skills the kids have to learn. And you're really being distracted if the coaches are pushing sort of competition all the time. Yes, competition experience is one of the elements, but when we teach our kids, it's really about the fundamentals from the ground up. So therefore, we have success in the cadet, junior, senior level, internationally and everything else. I think that makes a big difference, because sometimes you look at certain programs that have success like at a Y10 level, but then they don't have any cadet, junior, or senior level fencers. So I think parents have to really look at, the long process. Fencing is not a sprint, it's actually a marathon. And like a fine wine, it takes time to evolve. So, just because they're having success at Y10, why are they having success because they're sort of competitive wiggling and squiggling and all, or they actually have good technical skills that they're building. And if they do that, then they're going to have success further down the road. If not, then they end up in difficulties because all of a sudden they've had the success and all of a sudden they're not having success because they grow in size, they can't wiggle around so much anymore, and then they don't have the skills to pick up on, and then it's frustrating. They have to go back to try to learn skills that they should have had in the first place. So yeah, this is part of the process in the US especially, needs to be done. The other thing which is very important for American fencing is that, and I clearly understand, we have the probably best youth fencing program in terms of a structure of most anywhere in the world. And I've been the Chinese system, with China. I've seen the Italians, French, many other countries. I haven't seen the Russians, but I understand enough about the process to know where it's at. And I can tell you, we have the best youth programs that leads into cadets. That's why we see good cadets. But we need to have them. For us to be successful, we have to be better younger. And then as we progress, we last longer, because those other countries have the sort of professionalism that they stay longer in the path. And in men's foil, it's also, we're a little fortunate because it's a kind of a younger age in your prime. So therefore, we can actually make that transition and be very strong. And you know, the days of the 30-year-old plus men's foil fencer are few and far between. So these are the things that we have to sort of understand. In America, we have to be better, and I think that's why we're better younger. And then we just have to make sure that jump into the senior level.
And you were incredibly successful as an athlete yourself, but the M team has had a huge history of success. Over 70 fencers competing here at Summer Nationals. 2 of the world team members are M team members.
3.
Well, on the men's
Technically
team,
4.
yeah.
Also the
men's
British
team.
fencer.
Yes, of course, of course.
James Davis.
So you have a number of these athletes who are on senior teams. On the men's side, yes, James Davis. You have 3 people in the top 16. What is your coaching philosophy or style, bringing all of these things you just mentioned together to achieve that success?
Well, I mean, it's based upon, like I said, fundamental keys at early phase, keeping that success going on, and then being able to then build and develop on those things. I think that there's a lot of creative energy as you kind of get older. You have to have the art of fencing, and then you're an artist. You look at Garrett Fencing, he's an artist. You look at Alexander, he's an artist. Sabrina's a little young right now, but you know, she's developing into an artist, and that's what you ultimately do. But to have an art, you have to have the ground roots of what's going on. And I think this is where we kind of learn to be sort of successful, and the process of this phase from like where you're building things to then creating art.
Absolutely. Well, it's clearly working, and as you said, the results are clearly being produced. So, Coach, thank you, and best of luck at World Championships.
Thanks very much.